You were talking about what some higher critics have said that Jesus was claiming to come, to return in his time. So that has led to a view of prophecy, which is unbiblical in my view, but it's led to a view of prophecy called preterism. And what preterism is it's the idea that Bible prophecy has already been fulfilled. And this is a big movement today. On my campus, they have, I have seen literature about this. There's actually a preterist society based in New England where they're trying to convince people of that. And the verse that jumps out from the epistles talking about that is 2 Timothy 2:18, where the Apostle Paul talks about two false teachers in his day who were claiming that the resurrection had already happened.
Yeah.
Now, there's different lenses that Christians, that true believers have looked at the book of Revelation and other prophecies. Some have looked at it entirely as futurist, which means it's all yet to happen. Some have looked at it historicist, where it's talking about all of church history until Jesus comes back. Some have looked at it more in the form that they call idealist, where it's like, it's talking about kind of what always happens, but with a final consummation. But what Christians, regardless of where they put the millennium, regardless of where they put the rapture, what all Christians have always believed through history is that the final fulfillment is in the future. What preterists are trying to do is they're trying to say, oh, it already happened, and if it already happened, then there's no reason to really have a strong faith, because it's just all in the past. And that's why Paul says that type of viewpoint, it's called hyper-preterism, that type of viewpoint, it overthrows the faith of people.
It does. And there's some like Frank Turek, I think you guys know Frank Turek. He believes that in 70 AD, a lot of the stuff that took place when the temple got destroyed, there's levels of that. There's ideas that, well, that was Jesus was talking about this a little bit. But, once you get to the point where everything happened in 70 AD and the book of Revelation was talking about that, that's, I think, where it goes astray.
Well, there's a thing about dualistic and prophecies that are dualistic.
Yeah.
That they're short term, in that there's a minor fulfillment of it to show you what the grand fulfillment's going to look like.
Right, and one of the reasons why that would have to be is because to be a true prophet, some of what you had to predict something that happened in those days so that people would know that what you're saying has come true.
Yeah.
But it's not all.
Daniel has a lot of that in his prophecies, that you look at it, and a lot of it was fulfilled with the Greek Empire coming through and destroying the temple, and going in and putting pigs on the altar, the temple, and that kind of thing, and that desecration of it. And so he's saying, here's a small view of what's going to happen. A bigger view's coming.
Right.
This is just a small look at what's happening down the road.
And what the preterist tries to do is the preterist tries to say that
well, that was fulfilled.
Yeah, there's no big view coming.
Yeah. They're wrong.
Yeah, they are.
About that, yeah.
In my opinion, they're wrong.
Well, it depends on how you view dimensionalism and time frame.
Yeah.
No, they're wrong. It's for our understanding and our time frame, it is still coming.
I think most of them, for example, I use Frank Turek because I know him well. He believes that Jesus is coming back. He's going to return. It's just, some details about when, either at the end of the tribulation period, in the middle, at the start.
Exactly when, exactly how.
Yeah, exactly when and how. The position that our church shows, and Greg's and Ed are both very, very sure of it, is that it is going to be a pre-trib rapture. We're out of here, and that's the one I like, is get to go home. And some of that stuff,
suffering bit.
Yeah, some of that stuff that is described in Revelation, I'm very happy that I'm going to get to look at from above, because it doesn't look like a very good time at all.
No.
I believe it's going to be a bit dicey.